Mondesi looking. Then Trinidad Hubbard looking at the same pitch. Jose Vizcaino looking. 7 shutout innings for Stottlemyre. No runners past second. As for Ramon Martinez, bottom of the 5th, 2-on, 2 out. Mark McGuire on deck. Got to get to Lionel DeShields, but he walks him to load the bases. The Cardinal fans sensing the moment. McGuire trying to seize the moment, and he got it.
Told you it was coming.
All right, I can't resist. He got it. A grand slam. McGuire, he is pumped. The Cardinal fans are pumped. 4-0 Cardinal lead. Big Macland. Oh, somebody in the Golden Arches marketing department's a thinker. McGuire, he gets the curtain call, and Gary Gaetti summed it all up. Opening day, bases loaded. The star, the modern-day Babe Ruth comes up, and it's a grand slam.
Jose Vizcaino at the plate. Lines it to McGuire, making the big play, double play. Bottom 8th. Ron Gantz on 3rd. Willie McGee on 1st. Tom Lampkins at the plate. Dodgers up 3-2. Lots of information. Lampkin to Eric Young. My bad! Bobbles it, then throws it away. Vizcaino. He's going to 3rd to try to make a play. The throw not in time. Game tied at 3. Later in the 8th. Dodgers down 5-3. DeLino to Shields on 2nd. Ray Langford taking it to the vacancy. Langford singles to right. Devereaux throwing home. To Shields, he's in the shadows. Take another look. Looks like he missed everything. He did tap Piazza as he came by, but that doesn't matter because Piazza just tagged him out. Bottom of 9th, 2 out. Runners on 1st. Thomas Howard at bat. It is back. It is back. It is not coming back. It hit a guy in the back. Howard's first homer, tied at 5. Now bottom of 12, 2 out. Runners on 1st and 7th. Not 7th, but 2nd. Mark McGuire. And the timing got messed up, so no home run call. It's into the seats. McGuire, 3-run homer to left. The Cards win it 8-5 dramatically. Even McGuire's now 4 for 8 in his first 2 games. 7 ribs, 3 walks. He has 26 homers in his first 53 games as a Cardinal. Now the Phillies,
if he'll completely recover and if he will need surgery. Hideo Nomo on the mound tonight, heading north numerically. His numbers going in the wrong direction. Clearly, hitters becoming a little more familiar with him, and that helps them. Still, his hits allowed, his walks both up. Therefore, the base runners per 9 way up. 3 more in 97 than he allowed in 95. Let's watch what he did tonight. Todd Hollandsworth. If he clicks his heel twice, he'll be back in Kansas. Nomo against Eduardo Perez. He couldn't check his swing. Reggie Sanders down. 2nd inning, Nomo. Taubensee,
this is against
see ya. Next batter. If you're a batter, how difficult is it? The guy turns his back on you.
Well, you're not supposed to be looking at his back.
Can't see the ball either. David Weathers strikes out. Chris Stein waves at 1. 7 straight Ks for Nomo. Bottom 4, he walks 2 to bring up Brett Boone.
Brett hits a double down the left field line, but I want you to watch Mike Piazza here at the plate. He gives ground on Eddie Taubensee coming home, and he ends up safe at the plate. But Piazza, if he comes and catches the ball in front of the plate, he's out. See how far he is behind the plate? Allows Taubensee to slide in safely.
Tied at 3 in the 7th, 2 down, Darren Hall. Reggie Sanders deep and gone. The Reds are up 6-3, and they go on to win. Final score 6-3. Nomo throws 87 pitches. In 4 innings, gave up only 1 hit. He comes out for David Weathers. His first win of the season. He won 1 game.
Candy was blue, not the faces of the fans. Number 8 hitter, Pokey Reese, who has had a disastrous beginning to his season, finally coming to life. He'll knock in Brett Boone and give the Reds a 2-1 lead in the 6th off Ismael Valdez. Next batter is Brett Tomko, who tied for the team lead in wins a year ago. Raul Mondesi loads up the cannon, but his throw is wide of the plate, and beating the throw is Reese. The 8 and 9 hitters make a mess of Valdez, just like the cotton candy. Tomko against Jose Vizcaino. Paul Konerko's aboard. Vizcaino, no match. One of 7 strikeout victims he got in 8 innings of work. He retired 17 of the last 19 he faced. Reds closer Jeff Shaw signed a 3-year extension on Friday. He's now saved 3 straight games. Sunday, Ramon Martinez goes against Mike Remlinger. The Dodgers trying to avoid equaling their worst ever West Coast start.
For $350 million, I get this? Rupert Murdoch has learned his first lesson in baseball. Patience. Fox's Los Angeles Dodgers have been hounds, starting at 0-4. Teams that have started 0-4 and 0-3, not a very good omen, because of those since 1941, so the last half century plus, who have started 0-3 or 0-4, only the 1973 Athletics have won the World Series, and you're looking at the 5 teams, the latest 85 cards, to start this poorly and get to the World Series. So To end all of this silliness, the Dodgers reared back to the old days of the O'Malleys, and they called on some pitching, like Ramon Martinez. He was on it. Ramon Martinez facing Reggie Sanders, second inning. K's him looking. Some defense for the Reds. Brett Boone with a fine backhand play to Rob Todd. Good housekeeping zeal. Bottom of the sixth. Boone against Martinez. And it's a scoreless game, though, even though Ramon is perfect through 6 innings. Raul Mondesi in a scoreless game, top of the seventh. The guy's got a perfect game. We need some runs. How about one? Mondesi, home run, 1-0 Dodgers. Chris Stein's ground ball to Todd. Zeal, bounce. Konerko digs it out. The no-hitter is intact. Although he did give up a walk to Willie Green with 2 outs in the seventh. And bottom of the eighth, Eddie Batman in the bathtub and Z. Base hit to right. The no-hitter is over, but not the suspense. Mondesi hurt trying to chase the final out of the fly ball. With Radinsky pitching later, Willie Green to Vizcaino. And the Dodgers get by with a 1-0 win. And Ramon Martinez was spectacular. Just gave up the 1 hit, struck out 7 in the 8th inning, and then the bullpen took over. Remember, Ramon had a no-hitter back in 1995. He retired the first 20 batters, and the Dodgers are off the schneid as they won for the first time this year. And afterwards, Ramon Martinez thrilled.
I'm not upset because I lost the no-hitter, but it was a good pitch that Travis hit, and I'm very happy for the performance that I did today. Everything was working, you know. I was throwing a lot of fastball with very good location, moving in and out, and a couple breaking pitch, not many. Because I didn't need to, you know, I would get him a lot of guy out with fastball.
You know, it's funny, we mentioned 95 is when Ramon pitched the no-hitter because we really haven't seen Ramon in full regalia, fully healthy for a few years. He's a big game pitcher. He was so today.
Big game pitcher, and Chris, I think he's one of the most extraordinary people I've ever met in baseball personally. But what we've seen is he's worked so hard this past winter to get his shoulder. He had the groin pull, and then he had some shoulder problems. He killed himself all winter working out. And today, we saw that same velocity to the changeup that he had whenever he has really had great seasons. You know, he talked about the breaking ball. He taught Pedro that curveball, but he can't throw it. If he could throw it, he'd be almost as good as Pedro.
No. He's pretty good, though. Pretty good.
Outstanding.
And good enough for the Dodgers to get their win finally in week number 1, Peter. Well, at the beginning of this week, some New York
came out. New additions to the stadium. The mural surrounding the outfield, honoring many of the Dodger players and championship teams. How about Todd Hollinsworth?
Well, Todd Hollinsworth, one of those guys that's got to get back in the good grace with the ball club. And you only do that by producing. Right here, stays with a tough changeup, drives it up the middle. Little blooper there, but he added a little defense also. Now, this young man's rookie of the year 2 years ago, so you know he's got ability. Watch him run into this wall, not taking his eye off the ball. Great catch. But the other thing he brings to this ball club, he brings a little pop too, and they need that from the left side of the plate when you got Piazza and Mondesi from the right side providing power. Hollinsworth's a key guy with this Dodger ball club.
That made it 8-1. Chandho Park had a good day as well. Top 1, Devon White. You can look, but you can't touch. Then in the 4th, with a man in scoring position, White down again. Park's high heater smoked him. 5 Ks on the day. Bad news for LA, bottom 5. Ouch. Chandho swung a little too hard. Had to leave the game, really for precautionary measures because he had stiffness in the back. He gave up no earned runs in 6, and the Dodgers win 9-1. Stayed in and made that play on the ground out, but that was about it. Diamondbacks have lost 6 of their last 7, despite all the hits and runs for LA in this one. Not one regular is batting over 267. The Dodgers had 13 hits today. They had 28 for the season coming in. Tell you what, some heavy hitters are hanging bagels up on the boards when it comes to RBI. Mike Piazza had 124 last season. Tino was on this before the night began.
He rejected the Dodgers' contract offer, a contract which would have been the richest in baseball. Well, on Wednesday, Piazza admitted those contract talks had become a distraction, and he shut down negotiations. He also apologized to his teammates and to the fans, vowing there would be no talk of his contract status until the season ends. Piazza has been distracted to the tune of a 200 batting average without a single RBI. In the first, 1 on, 1 out, he steps to the plate against Brian Anderson, and Anderson would get Piazza to strike out, and the Dodgers faithful let him hear it. One way to get him signed, right? Wrong. Diamondbacks up 1-0. George Fabregas unloading one off of Hideo Nomo. The first of the year for Fabregas, it's 2-0 Arizona. Bottom 4, and after being staked with 3-zip lead, Anderson facing the meat of the Dodger lineup. Yeah, Mike Piazza was meat, grounding out, 1 out. Todd Zeile strikes out, 2 down, and then Raul Mondesi, another weak ground out. Anderson scatters 7 hits through 8 scoreless innings, and Arizona wins the game. The Diamondbacks get their first ever road victory, first shutout, and first back-to-back homers in their short history. Anderson never faced more than 4 batters in an inning. Mike Piazza goes hitless in 4 at-bats. He's without a home run, he's without a single RBI, and his average...
If you're a former teammate saying he is not a team leader, it's going to hurt. Boo him, and he'll break off contract negotiations in his walk year. Mike Piazza, coming off a 362, 40 homer, 124 RBI season, was homerless, RBI-less, lifeless after 7 games this year. Kid might be a 334 career hitter, but with all the distractions, he's also human. His Dodgers hosting the Diamondbacks on Thursday night. Bottom 1, no score, man on first for Mike Piazza. Mike, peace. Peace out. Takes the curveball deep to left. 2-run homer, first RBI of the year. It took him 30 at-bats to do it. Bottom 3, sacks Jack. Mike Piazza with some fat wood and some fat noise. 6th career grand slam. 18th career multi-homer game. Devon White runs after it, leaps at it, cannot hold on to the ball. Said Piazza, I feel like I turned a page and moved on. Los Angeles wins it 7-2. In one game, the jeers that he heard from the crowd turned into cheers, all because Mike Piazza drove in 6 runs. He added, it's been a little frustrating. Fortunately, I had a couple of good pitches and didn't miss him. Ishmael Valdez pitched 6 2/3 innings for his first victory.
1-0. Ramon Martinez pitching. Moises Alou deep. Todd Hollingsworth going back in front of the 55 world champion Dodger mural and pulls it back.
Hollingsworth caught it.
That was a home run. Martinez says, wow, that's good. And for me, take another look. Pulls it back. Was a home run. Not this time. Bottom of the 8th. Dodgers lead it 3-2. 2 outs. Bases loaded with Dodgers. Got it. Mike Piazza. Deep and gone. Grand slam for Piazza. 3rd homer of the season. 2nd straight game of the grand slam. 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs. The Dodgers take it 7-2. Piazza without a homer or RBI in his first 29 at-bats. It's 3 in 2 games. Ramon Martinez, back-to-back dominant starts. A near no-hitter in his 2nd start. And now this. And Mickey Cochran, the great hitting Hall of Fame catchers. First week of this season wasn't even comparable to George Mitterwald, who hit 16 homers one year, by the way. Now it's back to Bench and Berra. Piazza with a grand slam in back-to-back games. No one in the history of baseball has ever hit a grand slam in 3 straight games. Not even Lou Gehrig with a career record of 23. No one. Top of the 1st. Darren Dreifert, first major league start. Eric Young's going to help him out. Young diving. Falling down, gets the out. Sensational play. Bottom of the 4th, there he is. Piazza. Bases are not loaded. Dodgers up 1-0. Mike Hampton got him. Hampton, 6 strikeouts in this game. Top of the 5th, 2 on. Brad Ausmus facing Dreifert. Ausmus will just loft this one into left center field, and it is falling through. Todd Hollingsworth, that'll do some damage. 2 runs will score. Ausmus 1 for 4. It's 2-1. Jeff Bagwell, watch this, kids. You can't crush it any more cleanly than that. Straight away and gone. 3-run home run. Bagwell's 4th homer of the year. Astros with 5 in the 5th. Take it 6-2. Piazza 1 for 4, no home runs. Bagwell with the damage. Mike Hampton, 15 and 10 last year, is off to a 2-0
souvenir to a fan, and he gets nachos in his face. At least he didn't toss nachos, then we got a ball in the face. Bottom of the 8th, 5-4 Astros. Todd Hollingsworth ripping it to right. Derek Bell, no relation, makes the amazing catch. Hollingsworth is much displeased. Bottom of the 9th, still 5-4. Mike Devereaux singles off Billy Wagner. Matt Luke coming to score. Game tied at 5 and headed to extra innings. Now top of the 10th, Antonio Osuna. To Moise Alou going deep and going gone, his 3rd. 6-5, the Astros in front. Bottom of the 10th, Raul Mondesi, a runner's on against Billy Wagner. I am king of the diamond. Let there be an abundant post-game feast. I was going to say a bunch of other stuff. Dodgers win 7-6. Mondesi came into the game hitting just 200 with 2 ribs in the first 10 games. He goes 2 for 4 Sunday night, 3 ribs. He's batting .227 now. Wagner's 0-2 for the season. The Cardinals
tonight, bottom 7, tied at 1. Mondesi's on with leadoff single. Todd Zeil's at the plate. Little hit and run here toward right, but it hits Mondesi on the foot, so he's out, right? The umps actually say, no, that's not right. How come, Peter?
Well, I have never heard of this. 28 years I've been covering the game. I've never heard of this one. The ruling was that because Jeff Bagwell came in on first base, that even though the ball hit Mondesi, that he was already behind an infielder, and therefore he's safe. Larry Durkin's going, that's like getting arrested for jaywalking at 4 in the morning.
Guerrero singles to center off Jose Lima. Mondesi scores. Zeil's coming home. And look out, the Dodgers win again, this time 3-1. Guerrero goes 1 for 3 with a couple of RBIs, give Nomo the win. Good pitching for both pitchers. Jose Lima and Nomo each go 7 to give up 5 hits. They earned runs with a difference. Lima gave up 3.
Those two, Castilla and Osuna, comparing their bods. Mark Thompson says nothing compares to this. His right fielder, Eric Young, the fly. Larry Walker, slide, and nice grab. Lair, 2-1 Dodgers in the bottom of the 4th. Here come the rains. A 59-minute delay at Coors. Bottom of the 6th, one-man on. Vinny Castilla's play resumed. Takes care of the delay with some action. A line drive home run, his 5th of the year. We're tied at 3. After 2 Colorado singles, pinch hitter Todd Helton drills it. Todd Hollandsworth, who has made some great catches this year, has no clue on this one. Manwaring and Nefi Perez would score. The Rockies would wait out another rain delay and finally win this thing 6-3. Valdez loses for the first time against the Rockies in 7 career decisions. Castilla's home run gave him a 10-game hitting streak. His teammate Mike Lane.
You cannot worry about Thomas Howard at first base. You better give all your concentration to Raul Mondesi.
There's a shot deep into left center field. This one is way back there. The Dodgers have won it. The Dodgers have won it. The Dodgers have won it. The Dodgers have won it.
Number 24, as in $1 million. And he got racked early on. Todd Zeil to left extends his hit streak to 9 and scored Hollandsworth from 3rd. Don Baylor's in a 3-0 hole. But here comes Darryl Kile.
Well, we talked about the breaking ball in Colorado. He had it working today. Right here, getting Mondesi on the hook. Right here, showing Konerko the breaking ball, and then he follows it up with a nice one here. So maybe the Colorado air isn't too thick, but it was a little rainy and snowy, and therefore you can get a little bit better snap on that thing.
4-game series with the Braves that'll wrap up with
Todd Helton right back up the middle, and look at Thomas Howard.
Well, interesting play. Howard just takes his time. He thinks Walker's going to stop at 3rd, gets it in. But Larry Walker went all the way from first base because he gave a great effort. He never quit running.
And he knew his team needed runs. They're down 3-1. Vinny Castilla gone. 6th home run of the year. We're tied at 3. Now to the 10th. Jose Vizcaíno's hitting for Juan Castro. Center field. Again, it wasn't the ones that left, but the ones that stayed in that made the difference, and Ellis Burke's glove had not yet thawed. It bounces off it. He said he just closed it before the ball got to it. Hollandsworth delivers. It scores Vizcaíno, so the error comes back to haunt the Rockies. The Dodgers are up 4-3, but it ain't over. Never over when Laser is on second base. Walker, Vizcaíno.
Well, beautiful pick by Vizcaíno right there. Just nice, soft hands. Picked up the short hop, got him out.
It's Dante Bichette's turn. Jim Bruschi. And Dante reaches out, sends a flare into short right, but nice coverage by Eric Young, and the Dodgers win 4-3. 7 runs combined, the lowest scoring game of the season at Coors. Said Zeil, did you notice it was 35 degrees and you had a pretty good pitcher, Darryl Kile, going against Ramon Martinez? Both guys you don't want to face when it's cold. Both guys you don't want to face when it's warm either. Mike Piazza went 0 for 4. His average comes down at Coors. Still, though, over 400, but he said, I'll take it 0 for 4.
Mike Piazza was so strong. So strong. He shatters the bat, still drives this one to the wall for a double over Henry Rodriguez's head. EY, Eric Young, and Todd Hollandsworth are in. It's 2-0 Dodgers. Bottom of 1. Still 2-0. Man on for Mickey Morandini. Takes this one out from Chan Ho Park. His first 2-2 game. In the 4th, 5-2 Dodgers. Piazza facing Amaury Telemaco. Piazza was booed by the Wrigley crowd all day long, but answers with this one, a 2-run homer, his 4th. 3 for 5, 4 RBI for Piazza with 7-2 Dodgers. In Chan Ho Park, settling down, taking care of Henry Rodriguez. Scott Service looking at one, and Brant Brown, look at me. Chan-Ho Park, 6 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 7 strikeouts. Dodgers a big winner.
Be legit.
The Phillies trying to avoid their first 3.
Under the same category as Gravy. Kerry had some company on hand. He had his family there, and it's always a special event. You're first at Wrigley Field, and apparently Eric Young was caught up in it. Dazed and confused, Kerry Wood shows him his pickoff move. 2 batters later, Mike Piazza, one of Friday's heroes for the Dodgers. Oh, meet Uncle Charlie. Wood looking strong. 7 strikeouts and 5 innings of shutout baseball. Fred Claire, who's had some medical problems this week, on hand to watch Hideo Nomo, and this couldn't have helped his mental outlook the way Hideo looked today. Brant Brown coaxes a walk out of him. Mickey Morandini tries to mix things up with a bunt that former Cub Todd Zeile can't field. Next man up, it's very hard to walk Sammy Sosa. Ray, that's how wild Nomo was today.
Well, if you think Estacio was wild, there's a 57-foot splitter and then a ball that's almost hits Mark Grace. Both of these guys, Estacio and Nomo, just all over the place. There's about a 45-footer. Here we come again with a 57-footer, and then he goes outside about 4 or 5 feet. Nomo is struggling big time with his control. Fastball up to the pitcher, base hit to center field. Again, pitchers have to get ahead of hitters. When they don't, they build big innings, then they make mistakes, and people score 2 or 3 or 4 runs.
Yeah, Kerry Wood comes through for himself. What a debut in Wrigley as he gets his first major league win. He went 5 shutout innings. Nomo didn't make it out of the first with a horrendous error.
And he gets him at first. 3rd inning. Get ready, get set, go, and take a seat. And you know what? They were not done taking target practice.
Now, first, Ishmael Valdez, the pitcher. Here's what, if you're going to have him hit the ball up the middle, you better be a pretty good fielder. This is more defense. I would not get in front of anything that Mike Piazza hits. A rocket knocks his glove off, still throws him out.
Bottom of the 4th, the Cubs are up 1-0. O. Henry, and he is now in 7th heaven. 7 this season. Cubs are up 2-0. Valdez came in owning O. Henry in this game, holding him to a 167 average. Hollinsworth in right, and Sosa and Brant Brown can't come up with the hits. Hollinsworth goes 2 for 4. He would later score in a Luke double. 7th inning stretch. The man doing the honoring of the late Harry Carey's Vince Scully.
Root, root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame.
Root for the Cubbies. Wow, 9th inning, Dodgers down 2-1, 2 down. 2nd and 3rd, Rod Beck in motion. Vizcaíno staring. He goes 0 for 4, and the Cubs win 2-1. The final score. How about Valdez? Dodgers have scored 5 runs in his 3 road starts. So Henry's on pace to hit 63 this year. His last start, he gave up only 5 hits and 6 1/3. That was in Colorado. Facing the leadoff hitter, Fernando Vina, and Fernando says, yeah, I got your ace right here. 1-0 Brewers, Vina's 3rd home run of the year.
We had to do something to fire up the hitters.
Top of the 2nd, Zeile's at 3rd, 2 down, Paul Konerko. Little looper to right, Vina, oh, tough play. Now in the bottom of the 5th, Martinez gets in a little jam, Harold.
Well, he ends up hitting Jesse Levis right here with the fastball on the elbow, tries to challenge him inside. These are in concession here. Then he walks the pitcher, Jeff Juden. Oh, actually, Juden punches one through the left field. Excuse me, didn't look like a walk. Nice little stroke. And then Vina ends up walking him. Boy, he ends up getting the next hitter out, but then he got himself in trouble, and John Jaha took total advantage of it with the bases loaded, going opposite field, grand slam.
Brewers win it 5-2 thanks to that shot. 5 hits only for Milwaukee. Ramon Martinez is your loser, but as far as hits allowed, clearly he does not give up many in this one. However,
up to a 5-game winning streak heading into tonight's game with L.A. Let's check it out. Bottom of the 7th, tied at 6. Jeremy Burnitz at the plate. John Jaha at first. Burnitz hitting one into the gap in right center. Normally, Jaha would score easily, but he barely makes it to 3rd. Take a look at his left ankle. Not that you can miss it. Jaha in some serious pain. Rolls as he crosses 2nd. Had to crawl to 3rd, taken to the hospital.
Outfield.
So a bad night for Jaha after a huge night last night. Top of the 9th, 2 out, 2 on. It's Mike Piazza up there.
And for the time being,
actually, I think that's Jaha being taken to the hospital. That's your visual. We'll try to update you on him as soon as we can. Now Piazza, as promised, there's Mike. Perhaps you recognize him with 2 on, 2 out, deep to left center, and gone. The Dodgers go on to win it, scoring the game's final 9 runs. 9-6 is the final. That one of 2 homers for Piazza. He also drove in 4 runs. 5 Dodgers.
The ligaments in his left foot last night. He says he actually re-injured his right hamstring first and then put all the pressure on the left ankle. Not only does Milwaukee lose his right-handed power, it likely means Hamlin's going to take over at first. Jeff Jenkins gets called up from AAA. He was hitting over 400. Hideo Nomo, last 2/3 of an inning in his last outing, facing the Brew Crew, Fernando Vina. Over Nomo's head, Eric Young is there.
Watched Eric make this play over the last 3 years. It's the best play he makes, going up the middle and throwing on the run. He does it with great accuracy.
All right, Nomo facing Hamlin in the 4th. You're a left-handed hitter. Watch how nasty this pitch is. 2 balls. It starts out at you and then breaks in over the inside corner of the plate. That's a strike. He walked 5 in his last outing. He had no control problems today. Another great breaking ball freezes Valentin, and Nomo caged 6. Now in the 7th, tied at 1. Guess who's at the plate? Nomo. Payback. Valentin goes into the hole. He knows Nomo doesn't have great speed and gets him. Good pickup by Hamlin. Bottom 7, tied at 1, Burnitz. Ugh, that's nasty. He walked only 2 in the game. Your next hitter is Grissom. He faced him 13 times in his career, and Marquis gets him here to right, and just enough to get over the wall. His second of the year, the Brewers beat him 2-1. Grissom had 2 of the 3 Brewer hits in the game. The Dodgers' first complete game of the season doesn't yield a win. They have not produced. They've lost 4 of 5, and they scored just 5 runs in the 4 defeats.
Most in the Cubs, that's Kerry Wood. Supposed to be the future for Chicago. The present not looking good. He walks Jose Vizcaino. Next batter, Wood. Walks Valdez to load the bases. Next batter, Eric Young walking. That forces in Raul Mondesi. It's 2-1 Dodgers, but oh, there would be more. Next batter, Wood. Walks Roger Cedeno. Vizcaino scores. 3-1 Dodgers, but wait. Bases still loaded. Mike Piazza at the plate. This ball way gone. Opposite field. That is a grand slam. His 3rd of the month. And the Dodgers go on to win and win it big. Piazza's 8th career grand slam tied him with Carl Furillo for 2nd place on the Dodgers career list behind Gil Hodges, who hit 14. The only other National League player to hit 3 grand slams in 1 month.
National League record 4th grand slam this month. First inning, Darren Dreifort pitching to Mickey Morandini. It's the ground ball down the line. Eric Karros, welcome back to the lineup, pal. Makes his first start of the season, makes the great play. Bottom of the 4th inning, 2-0 Cubs. Todd Zeile at first when Raul Mondesi hits just his 3rd homer of the year. RBIs 6 and 7, but it ties the game at 2. Bottom of the 6th, tied at 2. Wilton Guerrero at 2nd. Eric Young lays down the sac bunt. Jeremy Gonzalez thinks about throwing to 3rd, throws it back to 1st, and it hits Young in the back. The error allows Guerrero to score what turned out to be the winning run. Dodgers take it 3-2. Cubs have now lost 4 in a row. 4 more scoreless innings from the Dodger pen, which has now thrown 24 2/3 consecutive.
Billy Russell hoping to see some good sights through the shades. Cubs up 3-2 to the bottom of the 6th. Vizcaino with the single. Eric Charismatic scores. Matt Luke gets caught at 3rd to end the inning, though. Bottom of the 10th, tied at 3. Runners at 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs. Todd Zeile can win it, but no. Rod Beck, shooter, shoots him down. Top of the 11th. Cubs now with runners at 1st and 2nd. Kevin Iron Ori at the plate. Pedro Osuna Oleda gets him. So now the bottom of the 12th. Remember, Zeile had a chance to win it in the 10th. He has a chance to win it in the 12th, and he does so. Eric Young around 3rd. Here's the throw hole. Here comes the winning run. And the Dodgers beat the Cubs 4-3 in 12 innings. Matt Luke had his first major league home run, so obviously his cool hand, Luke. 5 Dodger relievers tossed 5 hitless innings of relief. And all of a sudden, L.A., who's had a tough start, except for Piazza with the bases loaded, has
pro matchup like Brewers and Dodgers. Cal Eldred, who's got a slim 2.05 ERA through 5 starts and no losses. Of course, he has no wins either. 5 no decisions against a ballooned inflated 5.32 ERA from Chan Ho Park, who happens to be a perfect 2-0. Go figure. Here we go. Top 2, no score. Jeff Jenkins against Chan Ho. Jeff. Oh, yeah. 2nd home run of the year for Jeff. Brewers up 1-0. As for Eldred, call Cal bus driver because he was taking the Dodgers to school. Roger Cedeno, a 154 hitter. Cedeno 0 for 4. Jose Vizcaino getting jilted. Eldred 4 Ks, and then Eric Karros gone. 7 innings for Eldred, gave up no runs. 9th inning, Brewers up 2-zip. Doug Jones on to close the game. Flashback to Sunday. Jones gave up a game-winning home run to Charlie Hayes of the Giants.
Well hit to left. Jackson.
See if he soothed his wounds. Monday night against Raul Mondesi. Vuja Day. Mondesi's 4th jack of the year. Dodgers would tie it and send it into extra innings. Top of the 13th inning, Jeremy Burnitz, who had struck out 4 times previously, getting his. Singles to right field. Fernando Vina's going to test Raul Mondesi's arm, one of the best in the game. The throw was there, but Tom Prince couldn't hang on. Ball game. Brewers win it 3-2 in 13 innings. The Dodgers bullpen had gone 33 2/3 consecutive innings without allowing a run. Raul Mondesi, as I said, got his 4th homer, 5 for 6 at the plate. Milwaukee.
Jeremy Burnitz takes Hideo Nomo deep and gone, 8th of the year, 1-0 Brew Crew. Top of the 6th, Nomo facing his mound mate, Jose Mercedes. Looking. LA has a 2-1 lead, bottom of the 7th. They have runners on the corners, and if you think I'm lying, there they are. Matt Luke, rookie, busts out the whooping stick. 2nd homer of the year, 5-1 Dodgers. Same inning. Hideo Nomo at the plate. Nomo got it? He did.
I was going to say Nomo Mojo.
Nomo, oh, that's a good one.
All right.
So say it.
Nomo Mojo.
All right. One a night for Nomo, a 3-hitter. Too few hits to scatter. And he capped a 6-run 7th with his first big league homer, a Nomo Mojo. He also struck out 11. It's his 2nd straight complete game after.
As he's 0-3 away from home, he could use a little offense. Top 3, Cedeno's on 2nd, tied at 1. Jason Schmidt facing Mike Piazza, and he goes the other way, and it goes through. Watch the throw by Guillen. Jason Kendall blocking the plate perfectly. Ooh, did the foot get in or not?
Well, look at what Jason Kendall does. He puts his foot, as we see the throw here, he puts his foot right on the front part of the plate. There's nowhere to go. That is just the exact opposite of what we saw in the other highlight.
Textbook. Bottom 3. Chance Sanford facing Valdez, and that is a stand-up triple down the line and right. This plate's 2, and for Chance Sanford, made the most of a chance. It's his first major league hit. It's 3-1 Pirates. Top 6, they're up a run 4-3. Men are on 2nd and 3rd. Valdez sweating it out. And it's Guerrero. Little bloop, it scores 2. Dodgers up 5-4. Did it look painful?
Oh, that hurt. Right off the thumb. But hey, it paid off. Got 2 runs out of it.
Bottom 8, Dodgers are up 9-6. Lou Collier facing Brad Clance. Automatic Clance. No! Mondesi in right. Oh, what a great catch. To the 9th, Dodgers are up 9-6. EY facing Javier Martinez. And he pops up to first base. Kevin Young is there. Doink. Drops it. Look out. Doink! Everybody's okay. The Dodgers ended up pounding the Pirates by a final score of 14-6. 19 hits for that LA offense. They got 24 already this season. Jermaine Allensworth. Jermaine took his eyes off it, and that's not worth anything. 2nd error of the year. Your next batter, the pitcher, Ramon Martinez. Vizcaíno scores. Womack gets charged with an error, his 5th this year. Allensworth also scuffled around on the bases. 2 down, and Chance Sanford up. Little fly to right. Mondesi is there. Allensworth going to tag, and guess what? There's 3 outs. But, he's practicing. Top 5, Dodgers are up 2-zip. Martinez on 1st. Eric Young going the other way. Jose Guillen. Tough play. And Young goes to 2nd, Martinez to the 3rd. That is the 3rd error of the game for the Pirates. Next batter, Cedeno. Came into the game with 2 RBIs, and he added to it. Doubles his production with 1 at bat. The Dodgers are on top, 4-0. Bottom 9, 2 down. Luke Collier's on 1st. Womack facing Scott Radinsky. Again, 2 outs. And they send him. Game over. A 2-out steal ends the game.
Not a whole lot went right for the Pirates in that game, obviously.
Piazza, who hadn't had a great deal of success throwing guys out, gets that man. Gene Lamont says, listen, I thought if you could steal a base, a hit ties it, and if you tie it in that situation, you get a good chance to win the game. Martinez is 3-0.
Chan-Ho Park, who helps out his own situation.
In the corner.
Over the head of Turner Ward, Matt Luke, Todd Hollingsworth come around to score on the double by Park, 4-0 Dodgers. Top 6, 9-0 Dodgers. Mike Piazza facing Elmer Dessens.
Big red machine.
This one is going to be played, replayed, and kept in the archives forever. Turner Ward through the wall, keeps the ball. Unbelievable effort by Ward. One more time. Ward goes through the wall. He would leave the game with a bruised right arm after making the catch. And then he came up throwing like Rusty Staub used to. Pirates still lose it 10-5. LA scored 33 runs in the 4-game series. I knew I was going to crash into the wall, said Ward, because I knew it was padded. During batting practice, the Dodgers' Trinidad Hubbard ran through the fence while chasing a fly ball. I was feeling pretty good about breaking down a wall, said Hubbard.
Vizcaíno looking. Next at bat, looking. Millwood, 8 innings, striking out 3, gave up only 2 runs. Tough night for Ryan Klesko. In the 6th inning, facing Hideo Nomo. That long wind-up. Throw it! Oh, that's called strike 3. Klesko obviously doesn't like the call. Takes umbrage. Stick this memory in your cap and we'll come back to it. Bottom of the 8th, score tied at 2. Braves on 2nd and 3rd. Jim Brewski knocks Klesko down with a little chin music. That's not called a strike. But this one was, as he strikes out swinging. Klesko vents his frustration at umpire Paul Nauer. Bobby Cox would defend his player, and of course he would get the gate as well. It's too bad he missed an exciting ending. Next batter, Javi Lopez.
Base hit up the middle. Here comes Chipper Jones. Here comes the big cat Andres Galarraga. And the Braves win 4-2.
Skip, how you doing, man?
I'm fine.
Good.
It was a 3-run 8th for the Braves, fueled by Keith Lockhart's home run that tied the game at 2, and that homer extended the Braves' home run streak to 16 consecutive, 4 short of the
power. Michael Tucker, 2 words, deep 6th, actually deep 7th, his 7th of the year. Braves go up 1-0. He's got 5 this month. Talk about Cinco de Mayo. Meantime, Denny Nagel effective in a jam. Mondesi on 2nd, and Nagel gets Zeal to line out, and the inning is over. Top 4, men on 1st and 2nd. Nagel, Mondesi, same thing. This time a little more conventional, 6-4-3 double play. Meantime, on the other hand, Ismael Valdez had a little control problem there.
Well, he got a little bit tired. He's throwing a lot of pitches at this point in time. Right here, he walks Walt Weiss on the fastball up and in, and then he gets Lockhart to walk on a pitch there, and then he gets Galarraga on the walk. And when you're walking those guys, Ryan Klesko is going to sit there and go, he's got to throw the ball where I want it. He lays one out over the middle. He just drives to the left field, and he's going to drive in a couple runs. Walks will haunt you, pitchers.
Braves are up 3-1. You can't tell them enough. Javi Lopez will haunt you too. Huge game Sunday, big game tonight. Lopez takes Clance out, 3-run shot. Braves are up 8-2 for the 8th. Down 8-3 with the bases loaded, Tim. And how about Dennis Martinez?
He's 1,000 years old, and he still throws a hook like that to strike him out. Now he's got Todd Zeal here on a little ground ball to 2nd. Still terrific stuff at this age. Amazing.
The ancient Mariner has become an ancient Indian and still has good stuff as the Braves take care of the Dodgers 8-3. Nagel has now won 14 of his last 15 at home. Valdez 0-4 on the road. 5th straight time the Braves have beaten L.A.
Lopez in an 8-3 Dodger loss. Said Denny Nagel, I hate to see that for Clancy, but I'm glad to see it for us. Wednesday, Greg Maddux faced the Dodgers. Maddux gets Raul Mondesi to come back to him. Remarked Greg, a lot of hitters try to take me up the middle. And maybe they should know that Maddux has won 8 straight Gold Gloves. Bottom 4, Chipper Jones, bend the bomb! Solo home run is 11th of the year. Braves have hit a homer in 18 straight games. They're up 1-0. 3 batters later, look, I'm going to tell you, Michael Tucker's just been ripping up this spot. A 2-run shot, 6th homer in 6 games. Heck, 6th homer in his last 20 at-bats. Braves up 3-0. Bottom 5, Sacks Jack, Andres Galarraga extends his hitting streak to 13 games. Walt Weiss, Keith Lockhart score. Braves win big, 7-0. Maddux got knocked out of the game by a ball hit off his knee, but the damage had been done. The Braves have won 17 of the last 21 and 6 straight over the Dodgers. Said Maddux about getting hit, it hurts, but it'll be fine. I'll pitch Monday.
On the hill trying to produce some outs early. Top 1, first pitch, Cliff Floyd. Heat. 2nd pitch, Heat. Too bad. He relied on his fastball early.
Well, he had a lot of movement. He's going to set up everything with his fastball. He realized that he ended up getting a pop-up, and here's another fastball. Cartse takes him to left field. but you can't rely on one pitch the whole time, because if you do, pretty soon the hitters, he finally threw a changeup, and Sheffield says, you know what, you're not fooling me.
No, and there's a guy who can hit a fastball, Sheffield. It's good for a double. Renteria and Kotze scored 2-0 Marlins. They would go up 3-zip after 1. Chris Hammond just called up. Guys getting just called up. Todd Pratt delivered for the Mets. Of course, we saw tonight. Preston Wilson delivered. That's a double play. Top 5, trouble. Trinidad Hubbard. Launch pad over the scoreboard and left. His 3rd of the year. It's 3-1 Marlins. Hammond left, leading 3-2 after 6, allowed 1 earned run. So he did very well. Top 7, Stanifer in for Hammond. They're loaded for Mondesi. And Mondesi, one thing he has struggled with this season, driving in runs. He has been miserable with men in scoring position. Not tonight. Martinez, this is what we call settling in.
Well, he settled down, and he got into a nice groove. Look at the sink on that pitch to Renteria. And then watch what he does here to Bobby Bowe. Another nasty little sink on that pitch. So he got away from just throwing all fastballs, but he set up everything with his fastball, went to the breaking ball.
He goes 8, strikes out 6, wins 4-3. Billy Russell took a little gamble in this game. He let Martinez lead off the 7th when they were down a run. But he said Ramon was pitching well, and there was no reason to take up.
Wayne Huizinga put a for sale sign on. Jesus Sanchez making his 4th start, marathon runner, and needs some stamina for this one. Facing Roger Cedeno, he ends up walking him a batter later. Mondesi got hit, and then Carroll's walks, and now the bases are juiced, and Sanchez is facing Todd Zeile. And Todd was pretty zealous about that pitch. He parked it out of here. A grand slam, 6th of his career. Dodgers up 4-0, but in the top of the 5th, Sanchez would settle down right here against Raul Mondesi.
Yeah, he throws a real good slider down and in. He started to find his rhythm a little bit better. He started chasing that ball down low, and as a result, you get people out.
Yeah, you saw him get Carroll's there. He went 8, struck out 10, 146 pitches. Bottom of the 5th, Sanchez doing it at the plate, singles to right. Charles Johnson brought in the go-ahead run. And the Marlins go on to hammer the Dodgers 12-6. The Marlins have now won all 4 of Sanchez's starts. Picking up.
Marlins got him loaded. Nomo, Counsell, single to right. Sheffield, who had a huge game, and Jim Eisenreich both score. And the Fish are on top of L.A. 2-1. How about the Marlins pitcher, Andy Larkin?
He shut down the Dodgers 1, 2, and 3 hitters tonight. Eric Young lines out to second. That's really a humpback line driver. Jamming Roger Cedeno. Then he gets him on a moving fastball. He chops it to second base. And then Larkin strikes out Mike Piazza. 1, 2, 3 hitters were 0 for 10 against Andy Larkin tonight.
Zeroing in on the 120 at bat count for Piazza, Karros, and Mondesi as far as home runs. They have not had one in a long time. Nomo had a lead because of pain underneath the nail in his middle finger, and this is painful if you're a Dodger fan. Sheffield, still hasn't come down. Oh, there it is. Look out. Billy the Marlin and the Dodgers soaked. Marlins win it by a final score of 7-4. 7th straight time the Marlins have beaten Nomo. 32,000 show up to see it. Second largest home crowd since opening day. And how's this? A promotion pays $1 million to fans in 2 sections.
If Russell, the Dodgers try to split their 4-game set with the Marlins. Brian Meadows, the pitcher, drives it to right center. Oh, Raul Mondesi catching Raul.
Well, it actually looks difficult because he overran the ball. But you know why? Because that guy plays so hard on every play all season.
Now Meadows pitches, but it looks like Audrey Meadows. Sheila McRae. Good night, everybody. Mondesi with a home run, and the Dodgers lead 2-0. Ismael Valdez, speed and control difficulties.
Well, for all his great stuff, he has been very inconsistent this year. And there, he left the ball out over the plate. It gets popped out. He gets a little break there, gets a break there, another pitch he got up. 2 fly balls to the out by. The 6th inning, he doesn't get away with one. He throws a pitch that runs back out over the plate, and Mr. Sheffield doesn't miss very many of those. 8th of the year, cuts the lead to 4-1. Back-to-back at Derek Lee. Oh, when he extends his arms, he's got great power. Just wait for about 2 years from now when he can do that consistently.
He has so much power, he almost knocked out a Hall of Fame center, Jim Langer, in the upper deck. Meanwhile, Lee's next at bat, Valdez freezes him with a breaking ball. Scott Radinsky worked a 1-2-3 ninth for the Dodgers. Pickup save number 7. So 8 strong innings from Valdez, except for those back-to-backers you saw. And the Dodgers beat the Marlins 4-2.
Okay, but for our purposes, we pick things up with Darren Dreifert on the mound in the 4th. Kevin Jordan base hit. Rico Baronia scores. Phillies take a 2-1 lead. That lead was short-lived because in the bottom of the 4th, Mike Piazza off of Matt Beach hits one to Manhattan Beach, or I guess Long Beach, for this home run. It's 9th of the year, first and 55 at-bats, game tied at 2. Phillies up 3-2 in the top of the 7th. Scott Rowland greets reliever Brad Klontz with his 3rd hit and 3 career at-bats against him. In other words, he can hit Brad Klontz. 2 runs scored. It's 5-2 Phils. Dodgers last chance, bottom of the 7th, 1st and 2nd. This wound up being their last chance. Scott Rowland robs Wilton Guerrero, and that'll wrap it up. Phillies win 5-2. They out-hit the Dodgers 15-5 to move a game above 500. Matt Beach gave up those 5 hits in 6 2/3 innings for his first win this season. He also had 2
innings from Darren Dreifert. 2 hours and 30 minutes with the rain delay. We pick it up now, top of the 8th after the rain stopped. Philly had a couple on. Mark Lewis, single up the middle off Scott Radinsky. Rico Bronya, Mike Lieberthal would score, and the Dodgers are wiped to full screen. Phillies winning by a count of 5-3. Curt Schilling had a string of 4 straight double-digit strikeout games snapped. I'm sure he'll trade that for the win. He struck out only 6 in 7 innings of work.
Does something very special. He's Mondesi. In the top of the 6th, Scott Rowland base hit. Guess who comes up throwing? Mondesi. Doug Glanville is out, dead to rights, but Piazza can't hold on, so it's 3-2 L.A. Bottom of the 6th is 4-3 L.A. Chan-Ho Park to right. Thomas Howard is coming home, and he's dead to rights, but Mike Lieberthal can't hold on, and oh, that's going to leave a mark. Look at that welt. Bottom of the 8th, guess who's up? 2 on 4. Mondesi!
We've been doing this show together too long.
Oh, yeah. 2nd home run of the night for Mondesi. 9-4 Dodgers, the final. Raul, 2 for 5, 2 homers, 4 ribs. Phillies' 6-game winning streak comes to a close. Chan-Ho Park improves to 4-1 on the season. He reached the 7th inning for the 2nd time.
Have confirmed the Florida Marlins are on the verge of sending Gary Sheffield, Bobby Bonilla, and Charles Johnson, along with Jim Eisenreich and a minor league pitcher to be named later, to the Dodgers for all-star catcher Mike Piazza and third baseman Todd Zeile. Here's a look at the players involved. The 7-player trade is the largest deal in Major League history in terms of the amount of money owed to the players in guaranteed money, $108.8 million. At this time, a no-trade clause in Sheffield's contract is preventing the trade from going through, but the outfielder, who's in the first year of a 6-year, $61 million contract, wants L.A. to pick up a 7th year to make his contract worth $72 million over 7 years. By the way, both Hank and Peter believe the Marlins will eventually trade Piazza and Zeile later in the season. We'll have more on this big trade throughout the day on SportsCenter and the ESPN News Network.
Eric Karros swinging. Portugal, fresh off a 6-week stint on the DL, has Todd Hollandsworth to ground out to end the 5th. Perfect through 5 is Portugal. Bottom of the 6th, leadoff batter Thomas Howard breaks up the perfect game. So much for setting up the drum. Portugal would recover, however, to get out of this inning. Phillies clinging to a 1-0 lead because Hideo Nomo is equally as tough. The top of the 8th, Greg Jeffries takes Hideo Nomo deep and gone into the right field stands. Philly up 2-0. Bottom of the 8th, Portugal still cruising. Jose Vizcaíno swinging. Portugal dominating. 8 innings, 2 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts on only 85 pitches. And this just fresh off the DL for the 10th time in his 14-year career he does this. Portugal retired the first 15 batters he faced and out.
A lot of times I'm embarrassed on the field. And I kind of get bitter when that happened because, you know, I didn't ask to be put in this position.
He may not be in this position for long. It is up to Gary Sheffield to approve a deal that would send him to the Dodgers. The latest on this mammoth proposal and all the details. Up next on Baseball Tonight. You're with with us and welcome to Baseball Tonight. Along with Dave Campbell, I'm Linda Cohn. Plenty to get to, including a proposed stunning 7-player trade involving 4 All-Stars and $98 million in salary. Well, what started with the Dodgers' interest in utility Marlins veteran Jim Eisenreich could turn into one of the game's biggest blockbuster deals. Florida would send Gary Sheffield, Bobby Bonilla, and Charles Johnson to the Dodgers for soon-to-be free agent Mike Piazza. In addition, the World Series champs would send L.A. Eisenreich and a player to be named, with the Marlins getting third baseman Todd Zeile in return. It's a stunning deal when you hear it. Even makes more of an impact when you're looking at it. The Marlin players represent 4 of the 5 highest salaries on the team. When and if it becomes official, the Dodgers should return as a power in the NL West. The Marlins should be on the verge of making another deal, of course, one that would send Mike Piazza to a team that can afford him.
I know Michael wanted to stay here. He wants to play here, and I know that the people here want him to play here. They wanted him to stay here. After all, they made him a tremendous offer, and evidently he and his agent felt like that it wasn't enough.
I haven't approved it yet. You know, I'm just coming out here to see where they're at and where they're trying to go, and hopefully we're going in the same direction. Well, you know, I'm just trying to get it over as soon as possible, and you know, I already got my mind made up on, you know, what it's going to take, and you know, hopefully they get in there and they come up with the right things to say.
Earlier today, I chatted with Peter Gammons. We spoke about how rare it is for this big a deal to be made during the regular season. I asked him about how it came down and who was responsible.
Well, Linda, it's really an owner's deal. Dave Dombrowski and Fred Clare have been talking about a Jim Eisenreich deal to the Dodgers. Then Don Smiley and Chase Carey from Fox and the Dodgers started talking, and they expanded. Now, all along, there have been a lot of clubs asking about Charles Johnson and Clifford Floyd. In every case, Dombrowski had told them, if you want Johnson or if you want Floyd, you have to take Gary Sheffield. Well, the two owners got together, started expanding it, and this is what we got.
It wasn't just about Mike Piazza's contract squabbles now, was it? I mean, the pitching staff simply wasn't responding to him as it used in the past.
Well, no, I mean, Mike's been beaten up a little bit. I think there's been a lot of pressure on him because of that contract. Now, if you look at this trade, I mean, Piazza, Sheffield, that's close to a wash. I think Piazza may be a little bit better hitter. The 2 third basemen, Bonilla and Zeile, are a little bit of a wash. But the big thing for the Dodgers is getting Charles Johnson, best catcher in the National League, to handle that pitching staff. And Valdez isn't easy to handle. Park's not easy. He's got great stuff. Nomo with the forkball, Dreifert. I think Charles Johnson really turns his staff around, and they're 9th in the league right now in ERA. I think it's a very important thing for the Dodgers to win.
So, Peter, with Johnson, Bonilla, Sheffield becoming Dodgers, how much pressure does this add to the already heavy shoulders of manager Bill Russell?
You know, I think it takes a little pressure off right now, Linda, because I think if the team doesn't mesh right away, they can say, hey, there's hardly anyone on this team that's been there very long. So they can say, well, it's going to take some time to put it together. But I think it also takes a lot of pressure off because of the whole Piazza contract thing, which I think Russell was sort of in between in this. I think the pressure here is on Dombrowski to move Piazza and move Todd Zeile before July 31st. And believe me, it's going to be a huge market for it there.
Yeah, so where is Piazza going to go? And maybe a better question, how many teams can afford him?
You know, I think there are a lot of teams that can, because Mike Piazza is legitimately a great player and a matinee guy. I mean, I think the Mets will be in it. There's no question, because of Bobby Valentine's relationship with Tommy Lasorda, and, of course, Lasorda's relationship with Piazza. I think the Orioles will dabble in it. I'm not sure they can do it. If the Mets and the Orioles are in it, George Steinbrenner will at least dabble in it. The Cubs will definitely be in it. Colorado is a real possibility, because Piazza's always said if he can't get that money from the Dodgers and the way he feels about Fred Clare and Charlie Blaney, he'd love to go to Colorado, beat the Dodgers, and hit 62 home runs. But talking in baseball people today, the team that everyone seems to feel has the most reason to go get him are the Anaheim Angels. Bring Piazza back to Southern California and compete with the Dodgers.
Peter Gammons, thank you for joining us.
Thanks a lot, Linda.
So Edgar Renteria, Craig Counsell would be the only 2 Marlins who were in the starting lineup for their Game 7 World Series win last October. That's it. All the others gone. One more note, another reason why the Dodgers want Eisenreich, well, Jim's lifetime average against L.A., just .426. None of the Marlins in this proposed deal started in St. Louis tonight, hint, hint.
Payroll purge. The defending World Series champions are reportedly getting ready to send Gary Sheffield, Bobby Bonilla, and Charles Johnson to L.A. for All-Star catcher Mike Piazza. In addition, outfielder Jim Eisenreich plus a player to be named later would be jettisoned, while third baseman Todd Zeile would join Piazza in South Florida. In all, the players involved have a guaranteed contracts for $98 million total through 2003. Right now, the sticking point is Gary Sheffield, who would have to waive the no-trade clause in his 6-year, $61 million deal. This evening, Sheffield is in Los Angeles talking to the Dodgers.
It depends on, you know, my well-being here and how well I fit in with this organization and my contract situation, and it's a lot of things have to be tinkered with.
We're hopeful that there'll be a decision made tonight. I just think for everybody involved, it'd be much better the sooner the better. But I don't know about the likelihood of that.
I mean, it's a tough thing that's going on. It's one of those things where if it's going to happen, you know, you kind of hope it happens and get out of the way, because it's my second day not in the lineup, and as a player, you like to be in there playing.
Mike, you feel like commenting on what's happening? Here you go.
Well, the proposed swap involves two of the top catchers in the National League. Charles Johnson better defensively, but Piazza has those amazing offensive numbers. But it is a different kind of number, which may make Piazza stay in Florida short. He is a free agent after the season, reportedly seeking a 7-year, $105 million contract, and the cost-cutting Marlins probably will not be able to keep it. Now, if the trade goes through, only 2 of the Marlins' 8 everyday starters from last season would still be with the team, Edgar Renteria and Craig Counsell.
A long-term deal with the Dodgers worth a reported $100 million. But late Friday night, the Dodgers pulled off a stunning trade involving Mike Piazza and 5 Florida Marlins, including Gary Sheffield, Bobby Bonilla, and Charles Johnson. Piazza, who is completing a $15 million 2-year deal, is not a long-term acquisition because the catcher's eligible for free agency after the season, and the Marlins will either trade him or let him leave in the fall. The Dodgers also gave the Marlins third baseman Todd Zeile, who's hitting .253 with 7 home runs and 27 RBIs. Zeile makes $6.4 million. Sheffield's a 3-time All-Star who's now a Dodger. The outfielder had a no-trade clause in his contract. He's in the first year of a $61 million 6-year deal. Now the Marlins will also lose Bobby Bonilla's $5.9 million salary. Bonilla is batting .278 with 4 home runs and 15 RBI. And the Dodgers get a good defensive catcher in Charles Johnson, who at 26 years of age is batting .221 with 7 home runs and 23 RBI. He'll earn $3.3 million this season. And Jim Eisenreich is now a Dodger. The 39-year-old veteran is batting .250 this season, and he's scheduled to earn $1.6 million this year.
It's a tough situation for me, especially coming up through the organization. I started in '92 with the organization, and I think what was so special about it is that we accomplished something that was almost unheard of, is winning the World Series in 5 years. And as a player, I'm happy I was a part of that.
Even though the Florida Marlins didn't have a history of a long tradition, they set out to do one thing, as Bobby said, and that's to win a world championship. We did that. To go to a tradition like the Dodgers, who have won several, I mean, it's something a player looks forward to.
I never thought the Dodgers was interested in me, let alone for it to happen so fast. I was thinking, trading deadline, that's when guys, teams will start talking to me, and but obviously it happened sooner than later, and I'm just happy that it happened.
Mike, as we all know, made tremendous contributions to this organization, put his heart and soul into this organization, has become already one of the most memorable Dodgers in the history of the organization.
Well, the Marlins are trying to trade away 4 of their top 5 1998 salaries, while the Dodgers may be relieving themselves of the obligation of increasing Piazza's team-leading salary. The Dodgers, by the way, also received pitcher Manuel Barrios from Florida, as the Marlins had already gotten rid of 12 players from last season's World Series team.
And if any team can empathize with the Marlins situation, it is the Montreal Expos. The team that has had annual house cleanings has a total payroll of just $9.1 million this season. That's less than what Gary Sheffield takes home on his own. Sheffield's new team, the Dodgers, began life without Mike Piazza on Friday, hosting the aforementioned Expos. And look at all the empty spots on the Dodger bench. LA up 1-0 here in the third when Shane Andrews hits his 9th home run of the year. We are tied at 1 apiece. Miguel Batista pitching for the Expos, striking out Tom Prince, who caught in place of Piazza. Prince was 1 for 3 in the game, but the game was really Castro against Batista. A little Cuban history there for you. Second inning, Batista strikes out Castro swinging. Then Batista gets him again. In the 8th, Castro, the trifecta. Castro played for Todd Zeile. Batista handles Castro, thwarts any revolution the Dodgers were thinking about on Friday evening. The Expos win. Miguel Batista is a rookie, picked up his first Major League victory, and Uguet Urbina struck out 3 Dodgers over the final inning in the 3rd to pick up his 9th save.
And plenty of maneuvering, Gary Sheffield waived his no-trade clause, and the Dodgers acquired Sheffield, Charles Johnson, Bobby Bonilla, Jim Eisenreich, and Manuel Barrios from the Marlins for Mike Piazza and Todd Zeile in one of the biggest trades in baseball history. Sheffield, a 3-time All-Star, though, should help the Dodgers' rather anemic offense, which ranks 13th in the National League and batting at .248. The new-look Dodgers hosting the Expos. It is Bobby Bonilla starting at 3rd, Gary Sheffield in right, and guess who's behind the plate? Charles Johnson. Bottom of 3 now, 1-0 Expos. Sheffield up with a man on. And Sheffield pays dividends immediately with a single to left. That will drive home Darren Dreifert. Sheffield 2 for 4, and we are tied at 1.
Not in time.
Bottom of 5 now. Sheffield at the plate again, and again, laces one to the corner and left, but Ryan McGuire on the run. Great diving catch as Sheffield gets robbed on that one. He can't believe it. Bottom of 6 still tied at 1. Bobby Bonilla takes Javier Vasquez deep to right. Gone. Bonilla's 5th home run of the year. Bonilla 1 for 4 with 2 RBI. It's 2-1 Dodgers. 4 batters later. Charles Johnson delivers a long single to right. That drives in Eric Karros and Todd Hollandsworth. Johnson 1 for 3 with an RBI. Part of an 8-run Dodgers 6th, and Fred Claire watches his new additions pay off as the Dodgers won for just the 4th time in 13 games. Darren Dreifert went 6 2/3 innings to earn his first victory as a starter, and the Dodgers, who had scored just 3 runs in 23 innings, got some help from their newcomers.
It felt great. It was just nice to be able to play. You know, now that everything's out of the way and we're here. I hadn't played in a couple of days. I was pretty fried up. It was nice to be out there and get some at-bats in.
It's just a real serious atmosphere, and with 50,000 people out there screaming and yelling for the Dodgers, and, you know, they gave us a good reception. It helped relax us, but, you know, when we got that first hit out the way, it seemed like the whole team relaxed, and everybody just started swinging there.
I am a Dodger, you know, so, I mean, that's something new. I mean, I came up through the Marlins organization in '92. Never knowing I never had this chance to play for the Dodgers. I'm here, and I'm going to make the best of it.
And before his first Dodger appearance, Gary Sheffield sat down with Roy Firestone to discuss one of baseball's biggest trades, among other things. We'll have that chat later in the show. Elsewhere, Marlins and Cards. Mike Piazza taking batting practice, but he did not start Saturday night. We go back to May 12th. Mark McGuire hits the long.
Did a run in his Dodger debut on Saturday. He's got the wiggling bat, and he goes against the Expos to single off Mike Johnson. Eric Young, the leadoff hitter, comes around to put LA up 1-0 in the first. Sheffield had a couple of hits and a couple of walks. Dodgers down 3-1 by the 3rd, though. Ramon Martinez had given up quite a bit, but Derek May goes out swinging. Charles Johnson gets Rondell White stealing to end the inning. By the 5th, it's tied, and Bobby Bonilla is up against Mike Johnson, hitting the cleanup spot. He doubles down the right field corner. Sheffield will score on this one. Dodgers eventually win this one 6-3. Martinez is 5-2. Radinsky picks up his 8th save. Dustin Hermanson, who just went on the DL, was replaced by Johnson, who didn't pitch that well in his call-up. Sheffield, as I said, was on the base 4 times. The Dodgers have scored 15 runs in their 2 games, and we saw a little bit of what Charles Johnson can add.
Well, defensively, he's not parallel. He's just absolutely wonderful. We take a look at his first game. Darren Dreifert's all over the place in the first inning. Walked 2 out of the first 4 batters. Charles Johnson doesn't take long to take charge. First inning, he's out talking to Dreifert, telling him he's got to settle in, pick up the target. He gets the bases loaded, and then he finally gets Chris Switzer to foul off a 1-1 pitch and drops the hook on him for strike 2. Communication is such a big part of it. Charles Johnson talking to Mike Scioscia, longtime great catcher. He knows his staff, talking to Dreifert in between innings. And technically, there's no finer catcher in baseball defensively. Look how he has the glove up on the low pitch. Doesn't buy a strike this time, but he will. And look at this time. The pitch is even lower, but look at the glove. It's turned up, not down. And sometimes you're going to buy pitches like that. He works Dreifert, who had really struggled after the first time through the order in his first 5 starts. Dreifort was magnificent over the last 5 1/3. He only gave up 1 run. I mean, Charles Johnson's specialty is handling pitchers. They're going to have great confidence. We didn't see him block any pitches in the dirt last night because there weren't, but he's so quiet behind the plate, frames pitches. He just is so perfect, and then again, he's got the great throwing arm.
Yeah, any hitting he adds is a bonus. Sheffield and Bonilla have immediately had an impact. Both Piazza and Todd Zeile were in the lineup for the Marlins. Zeile, who didn't make it in time to play Saturday, a very new look. He had been wearing number 5. He switches to number 10 now. Jim Riggleman's Cubs facing this team, and they start the night 2 games out of first base. Raul Mondesi takes the hanging curve from Traxel. It's the 5th time he has homered off Traxel in his career. It's the 9th of the season for Mondesi. Dodgers break a 1-all tie. 3-1, we're still in the 4th. Todd Hollandsworth is at 3rd. Eric Young, the leadoff hitter off Traxel. Brant Brown, not known for his defense. He's in there for his offense and his left-handed bat, but he makes a spectacular catch. Full extension, Brown has earned the starting center field job no matter what the health of Lance Johnson. What the heck has happened to Mark Grace's bat? Exploding in the past week. Grace has hit all 5 of his home runs this week. He knocks in 2 with a double there. 5-3 Cubs. They hand it over to Beck, trying to close things out. Gets Eric Karros. And after a Todd Hollandsworth single, Charles Johnson, the former Marlin catcher, is a strikeout victim. And they finally get a good use for Jim Eisenreich, the last part of that trade, but he strikes out to Beck with the tying runs aboard. And the Cubs are on the move. They move 8 games over 500. Beck picks up his 14th save. Cubs win it 6-3. Chan Ho Park was 6-1 in his career against the Cubs, 4-0 at Wrigley Field, but they battered him around pretty good. And Steve Traxler moves to 5-1. Inside the box we go. There's Park. He got knocked out by the 5th inning. 6 earned runs. He was a little wild. Bonilla and Sheffield were not productive in this game. They had been all along. And Charles Johnson continues to struggle to hit. But, Harold, that's not the big reason they got him. Any bonus that he hits is gravy for the Dodgers. How much of a difference does he make for them?
Well, he makes a huge difference because he handles the pitching staff so well. And 2 things that he really brings to it. He allows him with a runner on third base to go to that split or that breaking ball knowing that he's going to block it. And also you get a runner on. People have run toward it on the Dodgers. Another thing he does so well is he throws out runners even on the breaking pitch. He brings so much, and he is going to hit. And, Peter, I can't believe they even got him in this trade.
Well, I think it's really... Especially when you have a pitching staff like the Dodgers. It's a tough staff to handle, Harold, because they have such great stuff. Ramon Martinez is one thing. He's a great pitcher. Chan Ho Park has great stuff, but it's not quite as unconventional. But you got Hideo Nomo's fork ball that goes down to dirt. Dreifort might be the toughest guy of all to catch. His stuff runs all over the place, the hard sinker, the slider, the fork ball. Now, I think you'll see him. His best game was his first one with Charles Johnson. And, you know, I mean, also, a couple other guys on that staff that have to grow up a little bit. I think it's a great thing. I think Piazza maybe took too much criticism for it. Matter of fact, much too much. But I think Charles Johnson will change that around. And traditionally, when the Dodgers have won since they've been in Los Angeles, they've won because of one reason, pitching. And that's where they're going back to.
Don't forget the Cubs now. This is a big win for them. Jim McMahon saying, take me out to the ball game, and he was a Cub fan. 10 runs, and they've won when they've allowed 7 runs and no runs. Final meeting of the season with your L.A. Dodgers. Jeremy Gonzalez gets Karros going the wrong way, caught in a rundown, and damage here. Blauser missed the tag, but ouch. Karros had to leave the game with a dislocated pinky.
That's why you see so many players put a batting glove in your hand. That way you don't leave that finger exposed.
Mark Grace, where's the power coming from? 3-3. He was 3 for 3 with 2 RBIs, 6 homer of the year. Now to the 7th.
And 2. Sheffield.
Well, Mulholland had an 0-2 count here on Cedeno, and he just tried to get a little bit too fine. He tried to go up and in with the cutter there, and then tried to get that breaking ball over. 3-2 breaking ball, and then the fastball up and away for ball 4. And ends up walking in a run.
Charlie Johnson showing some crafty D in the bottom of the 8th. Blauser.
A mile high. Johnson.
Carl, as you would say, concentration. Look at this. Watch him stand. That is just concentration, standing with that ball up against the brick fence. Nice catch.
Hitome would have climbed over that brick wall. All right, Dodgers over the Cubs 7-3. Cubs 4-game winning streak is over. Series with the Braves next. Eric Karros.
Top of the first, no score. Bobby Bonilla. He shot to right off Andy Bettis. Brent Brady. He's got an arm. Todd Hollandsworth has got legs. He's in there. 1-zip Dodgers. Bonilla 2 for 4 with the ribby. Top of the second. Bases bloated with Dodgers. Arizona needs someone to rescue them. Yeah, he was busy with the pool. Gary Sheffield steps on one into the gap. Ollie. In come free. Darren Dreifort comes in. Hollinsworth not far behind. And Jose Vizcaino will complete the sweep. 4-zip Dodgers. Dreifort. Complete game, gets some defense. Tony Batista, the grounder. Jose Vizcaino, armed and considered dangerous to Arizona. The Dodgers shut out the D-backs 5-zip. Dreifort's first career shutout. Sheffield has hit safely in all 7 games as a Dodger. He is now 10 for 22 with L.A. The D-backs' 4-game win streak is...
Martinez tough against Arizona. That's foreshadowing. Number 1 batter. Jay Bell flies to center. Devon White grounds to short. Travis Lee, third batter, flies to left. Matt Williams grounds to second. Dave DeLucci, the 5th batter, flies to left. Kelly Stinnett swinging a miss. Brett Brady swinging. Brian Anderson, the weak comebacker. He's the 8th batter. Andy Fox grounds to short. Bell, 10 straight outs. White, 11 straight outs. Get it? Lee flies to short. Williams grounds to short. DeLucci, pop up. Stinnett, swing and a miss. Part 2. Number 16, Brady to center. Anderson grounds to second. Fox swinging. Bell to short. White again to short. Lee, pop up to Martinez. Williams to Martinez. DeLucci flies to left. Stinnett, number 24. 24 consecutive batters retired by Martinez after a first-inning leadoff single. Needless to say, the Dodgers get the win 7-1. 24 consecutive batters retired as Martinez earns his 4th straight win. Raul Mondesi had 3 hits, not pictured, including a home run. Martinez strikes out 6, walks nobody. It's his first complete game of the season. The Bucks, the Fish in Miami.
Top of the 3rd, Gary Sheffield gone. 7th on the season, first homer on the road. Dodgers up 4-3. Bottom of the 3rd, 4-3 LA. Dave DeLucci off Chan-Ho Park, 2nd on the year. Diamondbacks go up 5-4. Buck Showalter has got to be pleased about it. And he's smiling, sort of, through a placard. 8-5 the final. The Dodgers hurt themselves with 4 errors, 4 unearned runs, 6 walked batters. Charles Johnson, 0 for 25 slump. Willie Blair, 2nd straight.
Jose Lima against Jose Vizcaino. Home run. Number 3, 2-0 the Dodgers. Now to the 7th. We move quickly ahead. 3-2 LA, 2 on. Lima wants some help. Ricky Gutierrez. The single off Hideo Nomo. Moise Alou coming to score. Dave Clark, he just wants 3rd base. But he's out. Game tied at 3 apiece. 8th inning, still tied at 3, 2 on, 2 out. Antonio Osuna against J.R. Phillips. He's leaving. That's more beer for us. Astros stranded 17 runners. 10th inning, Gary Sheffield against Bob Scanlon. And he has successfully reached the 18 to 39-year-old target audience. His 8th of the year. Dodgers win it 4-3. Sheffield working out okay for the Dodgers. It's coming over from Florida in that trade. Since the trade, he's hitting .469, 2 homers, 9 ribs. And as I said, but I'll say it again because I wrote it and then I didn't know I'd say it earlier, Houston stranded
2 on for Billy Spires. Oh, did he crush this? Raul Mondesi can't come up with it. Triple for Spires. 2 runs come in, 6-2 Astros. Spires at 3rd, and the infield is brought in for Sean Berry.
And Spires is at 3rd.
Berry, little weak chopper. Eric Karros, that would be an errant throw. Spires safe. Ismael Valdez having a rough time of it. 8-2 now. Tim Bogar against Jim Bruschi.
Through that ball.
A wild pitch. Charles Johnson can't stop it. Carl Everett comes in 9-2 Astros. Bruschi needing a 3rd out. Bogar still at the plate. And this is going to be a routine bouncer to 3rd, and that should do it. Bobby Bonilla, 2nd error of the inning. Astros get 8 runs and an ugly 5th. Equally rough night. Charles Johnson, 0 for 26 coming in, 0 for 27, 0 for 28. 0 for 29. Back to would go 0 for 4. 0 for his last 30 at-bats as a Dodger. Game so frustrating, the usually subdued Bill Russell gets tossed by Charlie Relaford. Well, he was supposed to get tossed, and Bill's not going anywhere. Getting his money worth, and the Dodgers lose this one 13-2. It was the most runs scored against the Dodgers this season. Houston has won 5 of 7. Valdez pounded for a career-high 10 runs, 9.
Is the guy who, because he did not make an error last year, is called the greatest defensive catcher in baseball, maybe ever. Charles Johnson. Emphasis on defense. With his bat, He's 0 for his last 30. Back to Chef for a little brevity. He says Bobby Bonilla, it's not by accident they're giving him $10 million. It's because he can hit. It sure isn't because they like him. Dodgers at Houston. Darren Dreifort on the mound facing Craig Biggio. Biggio hits a chopper. CJ barehands the ball, throws to first. That's why he's won 3 straight Gold Gloves his 3 years in the league. But at the plate, CJ, no butter, no money, swerveless, hitless in the game. 0 for 34, the longest futility run in the bigs this year. 1-zip Dodgers, top 4. Raul Mondesi grounds to third. Bill Spires makes the throw to first. Sweet stretch by J.R. Phillips, but Mondesi ruled safe. Take another look. This one, very close. Glad I don't have that job. Mondesi would score later in the inning. 2-zip Dodgers, bottom 6, runners at the corners. Dreifort hurls a wild pitch to Spires. The ball sails to the backstop. Brad Ausmus scores. Biggio goes all the way to third in the play. 2-1 Dodgers. Dreifort settles down, and he rocks Spires to sleep. Dreifort 6 Ks. 3-1 Dodgers, bottom 7. 2-on for pinch hitter Moises Alou. Ausmus thought maybe he should have hit it. Either that or he's pulling for the Pacers. Alou, a .339 hitter, was just chilling, ended the inning. Dodgers going to win the rubber game of the series, 3-1. Darren Dreifort, pitching to his former Olympic battery mate Charles Johnson, is 3-0 since CJ came to town. And as I said, Johnson at the plate, 0 for 34, at least because Dreifort's 3-0 makes it a little easier to digest. FYI, Houston's Jeff Bagwell comes off the DL on Thursday. Wednesday, Bagwell turned 30. The same day Chicago's Frank Thomas turned 30. Great trivia. The 1994 AL and
Woody Woodward wants a starting pitcher and either a young outfielder or bullpen help in exchange for the most dominating left-handed starter in the game today. Randy just wants out of Seattle. The Yankees are heavily involved. Should they get him, let's call off the rest of the American League season. 3 times today, Woodward and Brian Cashman, the Yanks GM, talked on the phone. The Padres and Dodgers in the mix as well, as are up to about 10 other teams. The rumor mill spit out Randy going to L.A. for Hideo Nomo and an outfielder. Rumor denied.
We do not have discussions going with the Dodgers. It must have come out of the Dodger camp because I know it wouldn't come out of the Mariner camp because there's not any accuracy to it. We've had discussions with a lot of ball clubs over the last 10 days, but there's nothing close. That's why I don't know how they came up with this particular rumor.
The players that were talked about today, that came out of story in Los Angeles, didn't come out of Seattle. And I was awakened this morning, and I didn't know. I didn't know anything about it, and but it's not accurate.
We talk about different players all season long, and just like other clubs do, and obviously Randy Johnson would be a great addition to any ball club, but as far as I'm concerned, Nomo's still here, and he'll be pitching day after tomorrow.
When this story broke, the thing that concerns me most are the players involved, and I wanted to assure both Hideo and Todd that we had not mentioned their names in any trade conversation with Seattle. We do have an interest in Randy Johnson. Whether we're able to do that or not, something very frankly that I can't answer. The proposal that I received today simply is not one that I would be willing to do for this team and for the future of this team.
A lot of proposals being tossed around. Woodward said that as many teams that are interested are really those who just don't have a legitimate offer. Padres involved. They don't want to give up a guy like Ruben Rivera. A lot of teams just say the Mariners are asking too much. The record, of course, with Randy Johnson from 1993 to 1998, 56 games over 500. The Mariners 23 games over 500, so they do need that guy in the lineup. He will sorely be missed if they don't get a quality starter back. To the current
for Mariner Teal include Wilton Guerrero and Roger Cedeno.
Meanwhile, the Dodgers hosting Cincinnati Thursday. The Reds have been slumping offensively, having scored more than 4 runs just twice in their last 12 games. You'd think since he would dread facing the Dodgers' talented, albeit somewhat underachieving pitching staff. Well, think again, said manager Jack McKeon. Sometimes the guys you don't think you have a chance against are the guys you beat. Perfect opportunity to test that theory in Game 1 of this series with the red-hot Ramon Martinez on the hill. That's Ramon at the plate, and as sportscasters, we're contractually obligated to use the phrase, helps his own cause. That's exactly what he's doing right there, Stu. Who are we to blow against the wind? Todd Hollandsworth scores, and Martinez the dangerous slide into third. Dangerous is a euphemism for what that was. First career triple at 577 at-bats. Bottom 4, same score. Charles Johnson says be seeing it. His 8th of the year. First as a Dodger breaks an 0 for 35 slump.
3-1 LA. Bottom 9 now tied at 3, 2 on, 2 out. Bobby Bowe. The drive to left. Melvin Nieves moving over. Off his glove. Eric Young scores the go-ahead run. Ruled the hit. Bobby Bowe 3 for 5 in the game. Dodgers win it. Pulling it out 4-3. 6th win in 8 games for the Dodgers, while the Reds lost for the 10th time in their last 13. LA will look to improve to 14-7 at home on Friday when they send Chen home.
For Randy Johnson. No all on the deal for Randy Johnson. A bad outing could make them reconsider. What would Nomo do? Well, first you'd have to watch Pete Harnisch. And Harnisch was real impressive. Jack McKeon. Harnisch dominating. Collinsworth gone fishing. Eisenreich broken off. Tom Prince checked swing, checked out. Harnisch struck out the side. Into the top of the 3rd. Dodgers are up 1-0. Nomo facing John Nunnally. Rips city to right. Off the bag it goes. Harnisch comes in. Reggie Sanders also comes in to score. The Reds now up 2-1. Little blooper here to right. Harnisch was 2 for 3 and he scored a couple runs. Same inning. Reggie Sanders, Nomo. Pokey Reese would score on this drive that goes off the top of the wall. The Reds win 7-3. Those the phones now saying, let's deep six that deal for Randy Johnson and Nomo, especially after what Randy did last night. Harnisch K'd 9. They came within a span of 15 batters. Billy Russell said Nomo is a 2-pitch pitcher. If he doesn't get one over, the hitters are going to sit on the other one. Basically sitting dead red.
Bottom of the 1st inning, Mike Remlinger against Gary Sheffield, a walk. Against Eric Charismatic, a walk, bases loaded. Against Raul Mondesi, it's not a walk. The ball takes a walk. Fastball down. Club back. Gone. Slam for Mondesi, 4-0 Dodgers early. 5-2 Dodgers. Antonio Osuna out of the pen.
Well, the Dodgers have had some bullpen problems. Matter of fact, the whole pitching. How can this staff be 9th in the league in pitching? Osuna comes in with a man on base. Brett Boone goes deep. 2-run shot, gets it to 5-4, and sets the stage for some follies.
Top of the 9th inning, Scott Radinsky in. His first batter is Reggie Sanders. To right field, back it goes. There goes the lead. We're tied at 5. 3 batters later. Eric Young off Karros' glove. Bill Russell says, uh-oh. Barry Larkin's going to come around to score. Take our word for it, he did. And the Reds, with a couple of runs late, beat the Dodgers 6-5. Brett Boone 3 for 4. A pair of home runs. He now has 9 with 4 RBIs. Now, unlike the American League, the National League with the...
Now, there's Sans Nomo. In a stunning move, LA designates the Japanese right-hander for assignment, meaning the Dodgers have 10 days to trade him or a week to give him his unconditional release. Given that Nomo had been involved in trade talk, the surprise isn't that Nomo's through in LA. It's just the way it's being handled. Nomo's agent, Don Nomura, had asked for a move to be made. His client reportedly very upset over the Nomo for Randy Johnson trade rumors. The Dodgers are upset with Hideo's performance. 2-7, his ERA over 5. Fastball's lost its hop. Hitters teeing off. Fans booed him in Saturday's start against the Reds, and as one writer put it, stick a fork in Nomo mania. It's done.
In my view, there's certainly never a time, and the record reflects this, that he ever did not go out to take the starting assignment. There was never a time, in my view, where he pitched with anything less than the full total effort that he had to give on all occasions. It's clear that Hideo never ever wanted to come out of a game. I respect that.
Well, the drop-off like Wile E. Coyote off a cliff from Nomo's first 2 years to his last 2. His ERA up over a run and a half. His hits and walks allowed, or Nomo is called, breakdown because Nomo is broken down. Hitters once feared the Tornado's fastball, forcing them to go after his devastating forkball. Hideo's fastball is overpowering Nomo, so hitters sit on it and merely watch the forkball bounce. Rich Eisen breaks down the flameout of the 90s Dodger fad, Nomo Mania.
Signed by Los Angeles in 1995, Hideo Nomo seemed to be a perfect fit for the Dodgers. His unorthodox windup and delivery caused National League hitters fits. His first season in the major leagues produced a 13-6 record, as well as the National League Rookie of the Year award.
And here's Nomo, and he rears back and lets it go, and got him! A no-hitter by Hideo Nomo, only the 7th LA Dodger, and he is being mugged on the mound here in Denver.
It also created a frenzy Nomo's pitching transfixed 2 nations. The media crush was overwhelming at games he pitched, and his fellow countrymen and women watched his every move with great anticipation. But after early success, hitters began to figure Nomo out. His ERA has gotten worse every year since his rookie season of '95, also increasing in each of the last 2 years. Nomo's walks per 9 innings pitched. Opponents had a batting average of .202 against Nomo in his first 2 years, but the last 2 years, that number has jumped to .239.
He hasn't been bad, but that overpowering forkball and ability to make hitters chase bad pitches just isn't there anymore.
Just last week, Dodgers GM Fred Clare denied that Nomo was involved in any trade talk.
I wanted to assure both Hideo and Todd that we had not mentioned their names in any trade conversation with Seattle.
But with a 2-7 record and the hometown fans now turning against him, Nomo wanted out of LA.
He has had a great career with the Dodgers. It will always be a great part of Dodger history. I will always think of Hideo as the great pitcher that he was for us, and always be appreciative of his contributions.
With Nomo's playing career as a Dodger now finished, where does he go from here?
Baltimore almost certainly will offer Armando Benitez. Boston knows that the Dodgers have asked about John Wasden in the past. Maybe they can put him together with somebody else for Nomo. I mean, he's still a very attractive commodity to all these teams, desperate in need of a guy who doesn't miss a start and pitches 200 innings.